Hey dads, if you're sick and tired of being overweight, representing the dad bod, having little to no energy, being a poor example of your kids, and overall lacking that self-confidence and self-esteem, so you can't take your shirt off, and you're just overall not confident in your day-to-day routines, then watch this video. I'm going to show you exactly how to lose 20 to 40 pounds of fat in 90 days, but more importantly, keep it off forever. Okay, I'm going to do that without restrictive dieting, without cutting your calories and eating 1,500 calories and cutting out your favorite food, without spending hours in the gym every single day of the week, and without cutting carbs. You can eat carbs. You definitely need them as well if you want to promote lean muscle mass. So for those you who don't know me, my name is Matt Whittlespot. I'm the gut health and fitness expert. I've helped over 1,300 dads now build and maintain the body of their dreams. So a little bit about how I got into this. Before I got into the shape I was and fixed my gut, I was experiencing like bloating, acid reflux, indigestion on a regular basis. I would sometimes be constipated, but more diarrhea. So I had these gut issues and I didn't really know that they were gut issues. And what I was doing is I was following all the mainstream medias, right? So I worked with dietitians, I work with nutritionists. I'm also a personal trainer myself and a strength coach. So I know the science, I know what to do, right? And I was following the mainstream media, okay, with cutting calories and cutting carbs and, eating these foods and getting rid of these foods, right? So anyone who's had digestive disorders understands you've tried like the FADMAT diet, you've tried you tried going vegan, you've tried going keto, you've tried a bunch of different things to do this. You've tried cutting out dairy, right? So I've been through that stuff. I've cut out everything. I've tried everything. Nothing worked. So I was, one, in pain with my gut. Two, I was in the worst shape of my life because I was starting to gain weight. I didn't look terrible, but I didn't look the way I wanted. And lastly, I was getting little to no results, none. So I had done this for about a year, and talk about a plateau, I got worse over a year. So that's what brought me to this program, and that's kind of what really made me decide this was about 7-8 years ago to help people, because one, I was in the spot and I'm supposed to know what to do, and I'm supposed to be this fitness expert or the personal trainers or the dietitian or the nutritionist, and I was just going off mainstream media, which most of them are. So I had to do something a little bit different, and that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, is just something a little bit different. But before I do, there's going to be 3 things that I'm going to talk about that really won't fit and suit you, so you can turn the video off if this isn't for you. So number 1 is you got to be coachable and you have to be open-minded, because this is going to be different than what you've done before. It's going to be different than, hey, cut your calories to 1,200, don't eat any carbs, work out, do high intensity intervals, don't do anything, work out all day long, cut out these foods, don't drink, don't do this. It's going to be different than that. So if you're not open-minded, then don't keep watching. Number 2, you have to be coachable and you have to want to be held accountable, right? So all my clients are held accountable by myself. We also track things and measure your food, your water. We track sleep. We track a bunch of different things. So if you don't want to track things, then this program isn't for you, because if you don't track things, you don't know what to change. So I'm not going to get into a program there. It's like, hey, X, Y, and Z is off, and we don't know because we're not tracking it. So those 2 are very, very important. So you got to be able to, 1, accountability, 2, you got to be open-minded, and 3, lastly, you've got to be somebody who wants personalization and customization. This isn't a cookie cutter program. This isn't a PDF that I send to people and everyone does the same exact thing for 90 days. It's not like that at all. It's very customized and personalized. So if you want something that's more personalized, then this is definitely for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what my program is, what it entails, give you the bird's eye view is exactly what I do and how I help people. And again, like I said, this helps dads. I've helped dads now lose on average 20 to 40 pounds in 90 to 120 days. We do that without dieting, without restricting calories. We do that without working out 7 days a week, doing endless cardio and high intensity intervals. So we do it without doing that. So my program follows 5 main functions, and I'm just going to kind of write them on the board for you so you can take notes on this stuff. But I'll kind of expand on all of these. So number 1 is it resets and reboot metabolism. Right? Reset and reboot metabolism is number 1. Why that's so important is a lot of times you're starting the diet in the wrong place. So maybe you're starting the diet and you're like, okay, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start vegan on Monday. And I'm going to start cutting out all the foods that I like, and eating just vegetables, and eating and following a vegan diet or following a keto diet, whatever the diet you're choosing. Or I'm going to do Weight Watchers, and you're choosing that, it's going to start that day. Okay, Well, you're already late to the boat here because you haven't reset and reboot metabolism. Okay, that's number one. If the gut's not healed, hormones are off, ghrelin's off, insulin's off, cortisol's off, you won't lose weight. And if you do, it will be really, really hard to burn fat. You might lose weight, lose some muscle, but it's going to be really hard to do that. So number one is you have to reset, reboot metabolism to be in that right spot so the gut is able to break down food as enzymes opposed to acid. Number two, the second thing it has to have, and I kind of mentioned on this, is personalized. I'm just going to write personalized on there. So it has to be personalized nutrition and personalized workouts. So vegan might not be for you, keto might not be for you, right? So it has to be a blend of what's going to fit your lifestyle for nutrition. So whenever I'm working with a client, it has to be what's sustainable. Okay, if you're pre-diabetic and you're somebody who's super sedentary and you have a really, really hard time losing weight and you don't break down insulin levels, well, maybe that's somebody who I'd recommend keto to, right? So, but for the most part, it's going to be figure out what are your favorite foods, what are the foods you eat, what are the foods you dislike, what do you like to make, are you a good cook, how long do you have to cook, what do you like to prepare, what's your food budget? So all this stuff matters. It can't just be follow this PDF, follow this meal plan and do it. So that's personalization for the nutrition part. Same for the workouts. So the workouts, you might have a bad back and bad knees. I remember one time I bought this program. This is 10 years ago. I love Joe DeFranco. I bought his program, right? And I have really bad shoulders because I played baseball in college, and I have 2 herniated discs. And I remember there were 3 exercises that I literally couldn't do. It was deadlifting, it was overhead pressing, and there was one other one. And then heavy back squats. So there's heavy back squats, heavy deadlifting, heavy overhead pressing. All 3 of those I can't do. So okay, what am I supposed to do now, right? So they have to be based off injury history, things you enjoy, things you have time for, exercise selection that you like. Also, a lot of my clients just work out at home. So maybe they don't have the equipment to do that stuff. A lot of my clients just use body weight or bands. So other things you like, and also what things aren't going to bother you and get you from point A to point B, but also get you going back and up again. So if you don't like to use weights, there's no point to try it. Let's just do body weight and bands. So number 2, it has to be personalized. Number 3, when it comes to the nutrition part, so it has to be personalized. We also have to, like I mentioned before, we have to have the accountability. So accountability is number 3. And why that's so important is we need tracking. We need expert tracking. So number 1, we need to track your food intake, okay? We need to track your workouts. We need to track your sleep, your water. We need to track your weight, your measurements, and your photos. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be paying attention to, and there's even more that I'll pay attention to, but those are things that we have to track. If I'm just looking at your weight, for instance, and we go 3 weeks in and I say, okay, what's your weight? We started at 200 and today it's 200. You might think, oh my God, we need to change everything. And I might think that too. But if I have the photos, I have the measurements, I have our workouts and our food intake, I might know that something's off, okay? Or we might look at the photos and say, hey, the photos actually look really good. And what happened here, even though we couldn't take body fat measurements, is we lost fat mass and we gained lean mass. So that's a conversation we need to have. Maybe it needs to be slowly changed. That's also why, number 2, it has to be personalized. What if we go a month and nothing happens? That doesn't work for you. It has to be something where you can make the changes and you know exactly what's working or what's not working, because typically it's caused from stress or it's caused from the carbs or fiber having more water. So if the weight's not down, it's usually from water intake. And you need to track that, so you need to know exactly what is going on to do that, right? And then to get a little bit more nitty gritty here. So 4 is just covering what we'll cover inside of these programs, right? So we will cover macros, which are super important. So I'll cover number 4. So number 4, we'll cover macros, right? So why macros are important is you'll need to know what calories you're at. Okay, you need to know how many proteins, carbs, and fats, and this is going to be different on each people. Again, I don't assign just do keto, just do vegan, or just do pescatarian. We're figuring that out inside your lifestyle in the personalization spot, and then we're going to fit this into what you're doing, what phase we're in. And that's also a big thing, which I'll touch on number 5, is education. You'll understand what that means, but we're all going to start in a cut phase. So what should our calories be at? What should our macros be at? What do our workouts have? What's our extra activity? Another thing that we'll be looking at, how many calories overall are we burning? How can I get extra in? Okay, so it doesn't make sense to drop into a huge calorie deficit right away, because we probably don't need to do that because you've done that in the past, and that's what messes with hormones. Also, we'll talk about what our heart rate should be during the day and what's the best zones to burn body fat. So macros is important. We will talk about what you need, what's the optimal amount of protein, carbs, and fats for you and your body and your situation. And number 5 is the last thing, is education. So unlike most programs that I've done in the past, or personal trainers that you might have worked with, you want, their idea is, hey, I'm a personal trainer, for example, I'm going to work with you and I'm going to give you the workouts and I'm going to give you the stuff, but I want you to come back, and that's their business. They want you to come back, and they'd like you to work with them for 10 years because, again, that's putting money in their pockets, understandably. For me, my goal is education. So if I teach you how to do this, after 90 to 120 days, you no longer need my help. And that's typically what happens, is people lose 20 to 40 pounds in 90 to 120 days. They no longer need my help after that. So my goal is to teach you what a cut phase is, how to reset and reboot metabolism, how to maintain. Because after you lose this weight, you have to maintain it. So these macros have to change. The workouts have to change. Our exercise, the foods we have, everything has to change. But you need to know the difference between maintenance, a reset, and a cut. If you know those three, you'll never go back again. I learned that, like I said, 8 years ago when I did this, and I've been teaching my clients since. So now that they get the results, they keep them off. And then the best part is, say you get to the winter break, you put on 5-10 more pounds, you know exactly how to keep it off. You don't need my help. You don't need to reach out to me anymore because you know how to reset and get into a cut. Okay, so those are the 5 main things that I cover inside my program. So if this sounds like something that would really help for you, and it's unique and it's different, and you're sick and tired of having the dad bod, listen, I've been there, I've done that. You're sick and tired of having no energy, being that bad example for your kids, right? The worst thing ever is you're the dad at the park who worked all day and sits at the park and doesn't have time or the energy to spend with his kids. If you want to be the guy who's like, hey man, I'm playing with my kids, I work hard and then I play hard, and at night I can have some freedom to do the things I want, spend time with my wife or my spouse and do things that I love doing. If you want the energy to do that and you want the self-esteem and the confidence to feel, look better and take off your shirt poolside, then shoot me a message below and I'll personally reach out to you.